Storm of Doom!
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to Storm of Doom. I am going to start a little bit of a mini series here on positive, negative effects, and other effects that Marvel's uses for their characters. This is more for a beginner gameplay for players that are just now starting to play the game. Scopely has added a bunch since we first started. There wasn't half as many as there are now. But we will do them in like a part series. We will talk about positive effects, then we'll talk about negative effects, and then talk about some other effects. And we'll do them in like episodes, like which each one represents, just to kind of keep it so that way the videos are not super long, and then you end up falling asleep, droning around my voice. So we'll try to prevent that as much as possible here. But I know some of them are very confusing and are kind of hard to understand what each one represents and whatnot. All right, so we will start episode 1 on counterattacks, and I will get a counterattack team and get going here to show what it kind of does and kind of show it. I might do it in the real-time arena. I think that might be the easiest way to show, or maybe even in Blitz. So we'll see how it works out. All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, trying to get this going. All right. So what I did was I went to my msf.gg first. So we're going to do our first episode on counterattacks. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your roster, assuming you already have this already all built out. I have this all defaulted right now because I was playing around with it. But it's going to come in and you're going to see your full list of rosters. So what you're going to do is you're going to filter by the effects that you are looking for. And in this case, since we are doing counterattacks, you will go down to counter and select that. So now this will show all the characters that you have that will apply counter to it. And this here, they all have some kind of ability that will be able to do a counterattack. Now real quickly here, what is counterattack? Counterattack is when the other team or other character will hit your character and your character will then hit them back. So it's kind of like counter. I mean, that one's kind of self-explanatory. There'll be other ones that are going to be not as obvious, or it's going to be a little more confusing. This one's probably one of the easiest ones that we'll come across. So then next what we're going to do is talk about which characters will be the best for counterattack, and which ones will be better to use. We're going to do an example with we're going to pick 5 characters, and then we're going to attack using their abilities for counterattack, so that way you can see how it pretty much works on this. Alright, so let's get into that. Alright, here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm gonna look at my chart while I'm looking at this. I have the other one on the other screen that you guys can't see, but alright, so his counterattack, I believe, is in Whisper here. Yep. So he applies counter to himself and all Black Order allies, and then also himself, and then obviously Black Order or Thanos. And I know on the chart previously Thanos was on there, so that's a plus, and so that is good to have. I don't think there's any other counterattacks with him. And usually when a character has a counterattack, it's usually only on one ability generally. So right, so let's find Thanos next. Let's see, yeah, his is right in his basic here, and so he gets counter right off the bat when you unlock his ability 1. And then he gains an additional 20% chance to gain a counter. And then on his level 5, he gains an additional 30%, which then adds it up to 50% chance to gain counter. And then if you end up maxing out his last level, he always gains counter. So then that one's good. So he's always just countering. So he's actually a really good character to have. Plus with Maw on the team, he's getting like a double counter. So every time Maw gets hit, then Thanos will jump in and counter it. At least that's how it's supposed to work. Alright, so next there was Daredevil. Daredevil has counter with his throw baton. That one I know because I love his baton. Unfortunately, I mean, it works with himself, but it really is the best when he is on a team of defenders in Shadowland because he gives them all counter as well. So every time they hit, they're just constantly just, you know, hitting the other team, and it's great. I love it. But I mean, it's great too that he has it as well. It's just not as much fun if he doesn't have his other guys on the team too. Alright, Colossus was next on theirs. Mine is now beasted out. Alright, still getting him on there. Alright, so it's on his basic. So it's on his special here for his counter attack. And he gains counter. Looks like he gains counter on level 3. Does he gain it on this one? This is his basic. Yeah, so he gets it automatically. No, he does not get it automatically. He gets it on level 3. So level 3 he will get counter. And then on level 7 he gains 2 additional counters. So he gets it for 2 turns. That's what that really means. Which is somewhat nice, and he doesn't need it for any additional person on his team. I'm trying to go through these fast because there's a lot of characters here and I don't want to bog it down, so sorry if I'm speeding through this a little faster here. Alright, so Sif here, she has counter on her special, so she gains counter right off the bat on her first turn. She increases it by 2 additional counters, and then by level 5 she gets a 3rd counter, so now she can gain to 3 counters total, and that's like 3 turns, so it's like, that's actually a really nice one to have. Black Panther, I actually like Black Panther. I wish he wasn't as squishy though, but he is really nice, especially with his other effects that he has. He has counter on his special, right on the first, but it's only when he crits. So on crit, then he gains counter. So he has to crit in order to do any kind of countering. Alright, and then Rocket, right next to him. Alright, let's see. I am not seeing it on his basic or his special. Oh, it's on his ultimate. So on his ultimate here, he gains counter. Let's see. Looks like he doesn't get it until level 6, but then he gets 2. He gains 2 counters right away, so you'd have to wait till level 6. I do like this attack on him, but it's nice that he has the 2 counters. There's nothing else that's preventing him from not being able to use it, so that's also good. Alright, let's see. Cable. He is nice as well. I like him on the X-Force team. Got X-Factor in the brain. So the new speed team. Oh, his passive has it. So that's kind of nice. He has a 10% chance to apply counter to a random mutant ally. So they have to have a mutant on the team in order to be able to use that counter. So probably not the best if you're just going to pick 5 random players that have counter, unless they have mutant to them. But he is good for when you put him with the mutant characters themselves, so probably will not select him later. It's not going to be beneficial for us for what we're doing. Groot. Let's see here. That's right, he's got Death Proof, Immunity. Okay, where did I miss? Did he not get counter? Okay, where is he? Okay, he's on my list, so did Marvels make a mistake? Death Proof. Maybe he used to do counter and he no longer does counter and they just didn't update it. I feel like he did do counter at one point though, now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, well we're gonna leave out Groot then in this case. And figure out why he's shown on MSFG but not on this. I might have to just let them know like, hey, how does he counter? Alright. Alright, so we'll skip him for now. And then Hulk, let's see, his counter is gonna be, I'm pretty sure he counters. At least I thought he did. Maybe it was just taunting that I was thinking of. I'm not seeing that either. I feel like he used to as well. I wonder if they changed his kit on me as well on that one. Either that or I'm just missing it somewhere. Interesting. Yeah. So we'll have to let them know on those two guys and say, these two guys don't show counter on their ability kits like they're supposed to. But I know they're always updating their abilities and stuff. I used to have a spreadsheet where I had filled all that stuff out and then they went ahead and changed everything on me and I'm like, no, I did all that work. So it's kind of frustrating. So now I just try to only rely on MSFG because it's just easier and saves me time. Alright, where did Multi-Man go? He's probably up here now. Strength. He used to be one of my weaker guys, but... Oh, he's favorited. Duh. Because we can farm for him now, which is exciting. Sorry, I play Raid Shadows as well. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he does though. Just gotta figure out where it is. Right here. Yeah, so his tech, this one I do remember him being able to counter and he's pretty fairly new, so so his ultimate he does on his last, which I actually didn't have that one checked yet. Interesting. Okay, can I even use him then yet? Okay, so he does have counter on level 3. So he counters it to X Factor and dupes. So, you would really have to use him with X Factor then in order for the counters to really be beneficial. Otherwise, yeah, so we're gonna ignore him then on our 5th. And look at Drax next. I like Drax because he has that taunt that he automatically does too, which is great. Alright, Drax, where did I stick you? There you are. 69k. Alright, so he has counter on his special. So his very first level is 1 to 2 counters, which is nice. And then level 5 he gains an additional 1 to 2 counters. And then on level 7 he gains 2. So that's nice to have. I might be putting him in the team then for that. Alright, Nebula. Ooh, watch this. Watch this. Bam! The only reason why I'm doing that right away is because she's part of the new IW team. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay, sorry. Tangent. I have a tendency to do that. Okay, so her special, she also does counter. And she gains counter, applies counter to all Infinity Watches. So she does counter herself, and then any IW characters as well. Of course, I don't see anybody else on the list that's also an IW, so we'll see but having her up there is pretty good. Alright, let's see. Crossbones is next. Maybe I should do this alphabetically. This might have been a little bit easier. It's tempting, but I don't have him in any teams right now, so see, his ISO's not even really worked out. But I do like his blast attack. He has a great blast attack. Alright, so his special is he gains 2 to 3 counters, so he does his very first level, he gains 30 chance to counter if you have that maxed out. And then his second level, it's just an always counter, which is nice, so you don't have to. And then this is an additional like turns for how many counters he can do, and then 2 to 3. So he actually is probably a pretty good one to put on there. You don't have anything special for him. Special people to put him with, characters. Alright, let's see here. No counter on that. I thought she did one as well. Aha, she does on her passive. Yeah, on level 2, she can apply a counter to Uncanny X-Men. So, not really that great. So she can do counter on herself with the fact that I have level 3 maxed out. So on spawn, 50% chance to gain, evade, and counter. And then on level 5, she's always able to invade and counter. Which is nice. Maybe I should consider doing that since I still use my X-Men team and use her in there for war. So I'll have to think about that the next time I get some T4s. Get those going. Alright, Moon Knight. Very basic attack. Counter for 2 turns. Right off the bat on level 1. Looks like that is it for that one. So it's a 50% chance to gain. So it's a 50-50 chance if Moon Knight's gonna counter. Could be good, but I like the ones that always, then you know it's a guarantee. Alright, so Royal Dragon, or Kree Royal Dragon, no. Kree Royal Guard. I don't know why I had Dragon on the brain. Probably because we were just talking about Moon Knight. And Moon Dragon's probably on my brain. Alright, so level 1, he also gains 50% chance to attack to a counter. And then he also has this awesome ability here, which I don't have maxed out because he's a minion, so I try to avoid putting T4s on minions, but he also always gains counter as well. So if you need a good counter attack, he would be a good one to have. He might be worth it if you need your Krees built out. Let's see. M'Baku. His special. So he does counter at level 5. He gains taunt, 1 to 2 counters, and then obviously he does charges, but yeah, he gains 1 to 2 counters, so that's not too bad. If you get him to level 7, which I don't have yet, he gains 2 additional charges, and then he also gains 2 additional counters too, which is nice. Doesn't have to rely on anybody on that one. Alright, no Nubu here. Alright. He is counter on his ultimate. So he gains 1 to 2 counters off the bat on level 1. Then he gains an additional 1 to 2 counters on level 3. Then he can, level 4, he can apply counters to 3 allies. So that one actually might be good to put on him, since it doesn't say specifically that the allies have to be hand. So for our purposes, that might be a good one just to put him in to show. And then he applies counter to all allies, yeah. So we should probably use him. I don't really have him boosted though. It's gonna be a little squishy, but Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with it. Okay. And then AM Infector here. Oh, that's not Infector. I was trying to scroll down and I accidentally hit the other one. Okay, so he does. Counter on his biohazard. It looks like his counter happens at level 4. So he has 50% chance to gain counter, and then he has another 50% chance to apply the counter to adjacent AIM allies. So if you don't have any additional AIM, they're not going to get it. Plus they have to be exactly adjacent to him. So you have to strategically place him in a position that he can hit like other allies. So you don't want to put him on an end. End will not be good because then you're losing out. So somewhere in the top 2 spots, or in the first position. You can put him in the first position too, but top 2, because then that way you can trickle down. So and then here I have his level 6 max, so he can always gain counter and he can always apply counter to adjacent. So that one wouldn't be too bad either, but for our purposes that probably wouldn't really work either for what we need. Alright, operative. I do still like her. I like how she stealths. Yeah, she stealths a lot. Okay, so her, well, this is like considered her ultimate attack. She doesn't really have a passive because she's considered a minion. But on spawn she gains 2 counters to Nick Fury, so she doesn't. So Nick Fury gets the counter, she doesn't get the counter. Yeah. And then on my 4, it also, she will also do a counter to 2 allies, but it has to be a Nick Fury or a shield minion. So yeah, she's definitely a no-go on our book for this, for our purposes. It's not going to help. We don't have any other shield minions, and we don't have Nick Fury as what we're going to use for our example here. Alright, Rhino. Rhino's a good one. I like Rhino. He's weak. I don't use him currently with my Oct 6 team. Yeah. I use Green Goblin instead for my Oct 6 team. Alright, what am I missing here? Did I just go over it? Okay, it's on passive. Alright, so on spawn he gains counter, so he automatically counters once he like gets brought in. Gains 15% of max health per Sinister 6 allies. So yeah, that's nice. He doesn't really have anything else, so that's really all he has, is he just gains counter right away. But that's probably only really gonna last like a turn, and it's not continuous. So that's that. Alright, so those are those characters. Let's see here. 1 second. Alright, on to the fun stuff now. Let's go ahead and get some battles set up here. And so we can actually show the actual counterattacks in motion. Let me pull up. Where did I stick that? Moving stuff around here on here. Okay. So I went into Blitz here. We'll set up a team, a 5-man team. Let's close that out. Alright, let's put Maw in the first position. Let's put Thanos in the second. We said we were going to use Nobu, so let's put him in there. He's going to be down at the bottom. He's going to be weak. He's probably going to be super squishy. He's probably going to die right away on me. Yeah, let's just do it this way. the only hand we're bringing in. Yep. And then we were talking about putting in Drax and Rhino. Yeah, Drax and Rhino. A little bit on the weaker side too. Okay, there he is. So we'll use this 5-man team here as an example to show counterattacks. Alright, so we're in 7. Let's make sure we get somebody somewhat easy so we're not going to get slaughtered right away. Let's go against Aim. Aim sounds like a good one. Make sure Sim is off, or it's going to defeat the point of showing this attack. I've done that so many times where I forget my Sim is on. Like, Simmy Sim Tim time. Let's sim it up. Alright. I like to still put it on 3. Alright, so as you can see here, we have some bubbles over here. They went first. They applied some stuff here. Drax always starts with taunt. As you can see here, Moss starting with Death-Proof Immunity and Regeneration. That's what these 3 bubbles are for. And then we have the counterattack. So this symbol here, this green one, this is Rhino. This is the one where we talked about earlier that he is starting his counterattack. When we're going against Aim, I always try to take out Supreme first, just because she will regen and bring guys back in if you don't take her down. So in this case, we will just go ahead and do that. Target her first. So I stunned him. Thanos now has his counterattack on there. So once somebody attacks him, he will return the favor. Once somebody attacks Rhino, he will return the favor. And once somebody attacks Maul, he will return the favor. Here. That's right, I forgot Nubu also summons allies, so that will be fun. As you can see here, taunt is up, so I can only attack security. I believe that's security. So weak. My Drax is already out. It's like, it's so painful. I knew Nubu had it. I'm wondering if I think it was only his ultimate, I think. Oh, there goes mine. I might have to use a different team to show a better example here. Yep. His ultimate shows, and then it gave everybody counterattack. So you saw there we go. That was a good example. So you saw they had attacked Thanos, and then Nubu had given him counterattack, and then he went ahead and re-hit him back. So that was good. There's an AoE attack there. Let's go back after Supreme again, if possible. So there goes Maul with the counter. This is kind of happening kind of fast. Maybe I should do this on like 1. Show it a little bit better. Maybe I'll do that on the next one we'll show. I'm gonna lose this one, but it's just really for the purpose to show how the counterattack works. See how this came back in now because we didn't take Supreme out fast enough. So now he got, and now he's, oh god. Thanks, Graviton. That backfired on me. Okay. New plan. But anyways, now you get the idea of what counterattack is. So you see, we had a good example in there for when Nubu went ahead and put it on everybody, and then they attacked Thanos, and he went ahead right away and then attacked. So that was good. Yeah, it's just that they're really weak. Let's see. So yeah, it doesn't do me any good if they don't actually attack the person that has the counterattack over them. So, let's see, we could use Nebula, I think, instead. So let's change the team here. Let's take Rhino out. Let's put Nebula in. She will still do it on self. Should be a good one to do. She's boosted up a little bit too, so that will be not too painful then. Come on. There she is. Could probably try Crossbones instead. As an example. That one might be a good one. He is weak still. I'm like, why am I going the wrong direction here? Alright. He's 50. Boss is only good for mutants. Daredevil's really only good for himself. I mean, we could put Daredevil in too. It won't give everybody else taunt, like Nubo did, which was good. I guess we could try just putting him in just for himself. I do like his taunt though. That is fun. Come on. Alright. Take Thanos out. Let's put in... Cable was useless. Let's put in Rocket. Rocket, I think, did it himself. And we'll leave Mon here as a healer. Just breathe, of course. Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll try that. Alright, let's see if we can find something a little on the weaker side. Ah, she's gonna be... Nah. They reworked her, so... She's a lot better now. The Deadpool's probably gonna be the nightmare. But we can try it and see what happens. See if we have a little bit of a better example of counterattack here. We'll leave it on 1. So that way we can see everything in slow motion. We got the increased speed. Obviously the 3 again for Maw. Sometimes I'll just go after the weaker guys. Venom will probably be good to take out. Go after that one. Now she has counterattack above her head. The baton one will do the counterattack above Daredevil's head. And there's Nebula's counterattack. So that was nice for that. And there's Daredevil's counterattack there. Right. Venom is down. Alright, so now we have Crossbones has his counterattack, and then we did that right away. See, so a lot of times you can't see the counterattacks if it's so fast because it happens so quickly that you don't realize that they had already did the counterattack. We probably could have seen all this stuff in 2 as well for 2 speed, but just trying to get a little bit better for you guys to actually take a look at that. So yeah, the counterattacks stay up on these 3. Of course, they're aiming after the people that don't have the counterattacks to them. It's typical. Yeah, Deadpool will go after the weaker guy. Alright, Spidey's down. And he's stunned. Alright, Deadpool's down. Now it's just Gamora left. And then, bam. Nebula. Oh, that's right. She's got charges over her. That's right, with her new kit now, she revives on charges. She totally forgot about. But that's alright. Rocket will get her down for the final attack. And that's how it goes. So hopefully this video was informative for you guys. Definitely stay tuned. I'm going to make more episodes. This was just the first of the first, and then we'll go ahead and do other effects so you guys can take a look to what each one means and how we can better handle teams going forward. Generally, you wouldn't need to necessarily put, you know, all of an effects to one. I just did this as an example. So in general, you would probably only need to really have one or two maybe that have a counter attack. With the teams, here, let me just show why they're good with who they're good with here. I'm going to do this one quick with my Shadowland, because he'll show you how he puts counterattack on all of these guys. I'm going to do this to me. Here, we'll do this one. So we'll do one last video real quick here, because this is what they're actually meant for the whole team, and the purpose of this. So, alright, we'll go to 2, so it's a little faster. It's going to be too slow, and then it won't be too fast, so you won't miss a whole lot. So, alright. Generally, I probably should have went after Operative, got her out right away, but so that way she doesn't stealth. Alright, so he does this, and now they're all going to have it. So you see that? They all just popped up with the counterattacks above their head. So now you see they're all like bam, bam, bam. Just attacking, so whoever gets hit does the counterattacks back. So Iron Man, so see how all 3 of these guys now that had counterattacks over them, they all countered them. So they got like hit by like 3 or 4 guys, which was nice. Oh, I am getting slaughtered on this one. Come on. So I wish there was more where you could just be like, they should come up with a character that has like, where it keeps counterattack on all. Throughout, they'd just be constantly hitting them, and they'd be like bam, bam, bam. Nah, the game would just be broken at that point, I think. So yeah. But yeah, so this was probably a better example actually out of all 3, just to show how the counterattack has worked and how it went on all the other characters and the point of what it's used for. And so it is important to read their kits too. So just because a character has an effect doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for what you need it to work for. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. See, so Black Widow had counterattack over her, but she wasn't on my list. So I don't know what that was about. So I gotta look and see, maybe MSFGG just didn't update her kit. I forgot to update that one, because I think she just got updated recently too. So, alright. Well, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. And thanks for watching. And like I said, stay tuned to episode 2. We will be talking more about positive effects, because we're on positive effects currently. Let's see here. We will be going into Death Proof as episode 2 and talk about why Death Proof is good, and that one will be exciting. So stay tuned. Thanks again, and keep watching. Bye.